This was the epicenter, the scene of the most devastating blow the terrorists were able to deliver. The World Trade Center was in many ways a pinnacle of American ambition, ingenuity, and faith in technology. When the towers were completed in 1973, they were the tallest in the world. They inspired awe and wonder in millions. But they would one day inspire resentment, hatred, and a vow of destruction from those bent on a holy war against America.
New York's World Trade Center took nearly 12 years to build. Its designers virtually reinvented the skyscraper, bringing brilliant solutions to difficult engineering problems. Then came September 11th. A new set of catastrophic technical problems must be confronted. Rescue workers must search for victims among blazing rubble.
There's just no way to describe it unless you see it.
1 million tons of dangerous debris must be removed before more lives are endangered. A 16-acre disaster site and an engineering autopsy must seek the truth about how and why the buildings fell.
We have looked at well over 1,000 photographs, video footage. We studied well in excess of 200 hours in detail.
The mammoth rescue and recovery effort and far-reaching forensic and engineering analyses are without precedent in American history. Engineers, architects, and scientists would have to fashion sense out of madness. September 11th, 2001. A day of grief. A day of courage. A day no one will ever forget. This is how that day unfolded.
My daughter called me, and she said, plane just flew into the
At
World Trade
8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 from Boston, with 92 aboard, traveling at a speed of 470 miles per hour, strikes the North Tower of the World Trade Center complex.
All of a sudden, coming past our window was a blizzard of paper, but it just didn't make any sense. And so we looked in the direction where the source of the paper, and we saw that the Tower 1 was on fire.
The impact leaves a jagged hole in the structure's north face from the 98th down to the 94th floors. Following the impact, the physical weight of the building is redistributed. The undamaged portions take on the work of the missing parts. But structural damage is not all the building must withstand. Of the 10,000 gallons of jet fuel aboard the aircraft, as many as 3,000 gallons ignite and are consumed within 2 seconds. 4,000 gallons disperse as a fiery vapor cloud.
Those floors are immediately set on fire. All of the carpets, the furniture.
Within minutes, officials coordinate the citywide emergency response. Their base of operations is a state-of-the-art command center located on the 23rd floor of 7 World Trade Center.
It's operating fine.
With one tower in flames, the tragedy is only beginning. It is 9:03 when United Airlines Flight 175, with 65 aboard, traveling at the speed of 590 miles per hour, smashes into the south tower of the World Trade Center. Instead of a dead-on impact, as occurred with the North Tower, this aircraft strikes the corner of the South Tower. It rips a diagonally shaped gash from the 84th to the 78th floors.
It was banked at a somewhat steeper angle so that more floors were hit. It was going almost 100 miles an hour faster than the one that hit the North Tower. And that makes it worse.
The zone of impact on the South Tower is 20 stories lower than that of the North Tower. Therefore, the damaged structure is supporting a heavier load. The fires inside the towers weaken steel supports called trusses that hold up each floor. Thus compromised, the trusses give way. The South Tower lasts only 56 minutes before it succumbs at 9:59 a.m. It strikes the ground at a speed of 124 miles per hour.
The floors below could not possibly withstand the weight of
A dust cloud billows outward for blocks. Victims stagger away.
I've never seen nothing like it in my life.
Some clutching scraps of clothing over their nose and mouth so they can breathe. At 10:28, the television mast atop the North Tower spears straight down.
Once the collapse started, there really wasn't any way to stop it.
Chaos in New York City. Power is down in Lower Manhattan. Phone lines jammed with more than 230 million calls. Hundreds of firefighters trapped in the towers. Hundreds more race to the scene.
When the world is coming down around you, you have to keep your head.
Falling debris from the collapse of the North and South Towers ignites fires in the neighboring buildings of the World Trade Center. World Trade 4, 5, and 6 are ablaze. World Trade 7, the building housing the city's command center, burns unchecked for 7 hours. At 5:20, it collapses. The city's emergency nerve center is destroyed. Temporary quarters, in the form of a mobile communications trailer, are pressed into service. With New York a war zone, some residents walk across the Brooklyn Bridge to get out of the city. Others seek escape in vessels piloted by the Army Corps of Engineers.
Using 8 boats, the Corps of Engineers removed and evacuated approximately.
At 7:45 p.m., the New York Police Department says 78 officers are missing and estimates that 200 firefighters are dead.
It's terrible.
By 10 p.m., Mayor Rudolph Giuliani seeks to calm fears that the attacking planes carried airborne chemical or biological agents.
The City Department of Environmental Protection started monitoring almost immediately. We have a very large monitoring program going on.
The air sampling program focuses on 3 zones. A passive collector unit mounted on a pole takes in air upwind and crosswind of ground zero. Spectrographic analysis reveals normal background levels of airborne chemicals. Downwind, investigators find airborne irritants in excess of normal levels, but attribute them to the fires burning at the site. At 10:56 p.m., police officials say they believe there are victims alive in the rubble of the World Trade Center.
Working with urban search and rescue teams, there was a lot of areas to be searched underneath.
September 11th, 2001, the longest and most tragic day in New York's history, is drawing to a close. The 16-acre site would become the proving ground where rescue workers and investigators faced the most difficult challenges of their lives. For many, the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center expressed what was big and bold about New York. 50,000 people worked in 10 million square feet of space. Each floor was a full acre in size. Each 110-story tower had 99 elevators. The entire complex was dense with the hum of humanity. On September 11th, 25,000 people were able to escape. In part, that was thanks to the tower's designers and caretakers, who had gone to great lengths to make them a safe place in which to work. But no one anticipated an act of terrorism as bold as it was horrible. When the towers were being built, a terrorist attack on American soil was simply inconceivable. It was an optimistic time, ripe with energy and promise, when America wanted to build the biggest and the best. The Twin Towers were completed in 1974. They became the tallest buildings in the world.